Going live, and you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. And why the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. They suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Or if anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys rock. I'm going to try to shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes here tonight, as I always try to do. Anybody got anything to say? Please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I try to check on the chat box. Like once I start talking, 5 to 10 minutes, I try to check on the chat box. So anything that gets put in there, I try to respond to as soon as I see it, right? So please, anybody got anything to say, just feel free, fire away, throw in the chat box, right? Before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box is a top link. It takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one is called the Saquon. The second membership level is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. There's loyalty badges. There's 8 loyalty badges. Each loyalty badge is actually like a different Giants helmet. Now, the older the helmet is, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. So if you get the leather helmet associated with your name, it means you've been a supporter of my channel for a long time. There's 4 emojis. Eventually there'll be a 5th emoji coming out, but right now there's 4 of them. I had them made up on Fiverr. They freaking crack me up every time I look at them. They're funny. They're very funny. But you can use them like in the chat box, or if you're going to make a comment. I said right now there's 4 of them. Eventually there'll be a 5th one coming out. But so I said, anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the world to me. And if you're not a subscriber to my channel, okay, go down below, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's all free. It's free, free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? Right now, I got 5,629 subscribers. What did I do? I started with 5,605 for the day, so I've gone up 24 subscribers today. I tell you what, ever since the Giants season's been over with, they're going up about like 30 or so subscribers every day. A couple weeks ago, I guess it was, I hit the 5,000 subscriber mark. I never thought in my wildest dreams once I started this. I've been doing this for about almost 2 years ago. I started this in March, I believe it was, of 2021. And I tell you what, I never thought, almost 2 years ago, I'd have 5,000 subscribers and growing. The way it's going, and maybe in like another 2 weeks or so, I probably should have right around like 6,000 subscribers. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So anybody who is subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. Thank you. Or if you're not subscribed, please feel free. Subscribe. It's free of charge. What do you got to lose? And then also in the description box, there's 2 links to Facebook. Okay. The top link takes you to my group, the New York Giants, my YouTube channel, my group, and the page I got, which I'm going to be talking about in a minute here. It's all the New York Giants, the Gridiron. That way, a moron like me can even remember it. All right, I don't get things all confused and everything. All right, but the top link, it takes you to a group, the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Okay, right now we have over 2,100 members there in the group. Okay, and I try to put I try about 10 things or so a day in there. One of the things I just put in there a couple hours ago was Giants defensive coordinator Don Wink Martindale has been told he's out of the running for the Colts head coaching job. He was one of the candidates who was interviewed twice. So I just put that in there. I actually, that's one of my topics here for the video I'm talking about tonight. But that works out better. It's a bummer for him because you like to see people advance, and he's been wanting to be a coach for a long time. Not sure what the problem is. he has a problem interviewing or whatever it is. I don't know, or his vision for the team, what he wants to do with it, or what, I mean, is not, doesn't line up with the the owners. I don't know, but works out best for the Giants. But anyway, with the group, okay, I try to put like about, whether it's a picture, a post, a video, just something showing some stats or whatever. I try to put at least 10 different items in there every day. And if you become a member of the group, you can post stuff in there as well, too. So not only am I putting stuff in the group, but the members are putting stuff in there as well. So then the second link, all right, in the description box, it takes you to my Facebook page, New York Giants, the Gridiron. All right. This one is freaking going like freaking bananas. I mean, a couple days ago, well, actually, it was about a week ago. I had like 2,300 followers. Now, a few days ago, I went up to over 2,400 followers. Well, now, as of today, we're up to over 2,500 people following the New York Giants, the Gridiron, the page. It's freaking crazy. There's 600 people who like it and over 2,500 people following. It's growing like freaking wildfire. I wish my hair grew that was growing like that, huh? I'd have a nice big afro. But it's the same thing here. I try to put like at least 10 different items in here every day, pretty much like 7 days a week. I spend an hour to 2 hours every day putting stuff in the page and the group, and I don't commingle them. So basically, whatever I put on the page, for the most part, I don't put in the group, and whatever goes in the group doesn't go in the page for the most part. So I mean, basically, between the group and the pages, I get like probably like 20. I have like pictures and videos and a post or something just showing some stats or anything, pretty much related to the Giants. Sometimes there's like NFC East stuff. Like I put pictures up there picking on the Cowboys and stuff. I'll be putting some pictures up picking on the Eagles. Of course, that's if they lose the Super Bowl. So it's kind of tough to pick on the Eagles when they beat you and they're on the verge of winning a Super Bowl. But anyway, go to the page, like it and follow it, and go to the group and become a member. Between the two, you'll get a ton of New York Giants stuff every day. And as I say all the time, if you're not satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All right. So all that stuff said and done, things worked out well for I mean, as I said, not so much for Wink, sadly, but for the New York Giants, things worked out well. Because we know we got our guy coming back. And I got this, I think, from the New York Post. I just want to read. Brian Daboll, the newly crowned NFL Associated Press Coach of the Year, will have the mastermind of the Giants defense back with him for a second season, which is huge. Now, we might be going through the same thing next year, without question. You know what I mean? Especially if we can dial up another wonderful, a wonderful season. Now, he did a very good job with, without the greatest of talent, shall we say. Okay. Now, if he can start really dialing some nice stuff up, okay, with, if we can start adding another piece or two to the puzzle here, all right, like maybe a nice inside linebacker. If Azeez Ojulari can actually stay healthy and stay on the field, maybe we can get another cornerback in there or something, start adding some more pieces to the puzzle, and Wink starts really dialing up some pressures and the Giants defense really starts taking off. I mean, Wink will be out there next year being a head coaching candidate. So this might be a yearly thing until Wink winds up getting a job. But let's see here. Now, right? Wink Martindale finals for the coach job because it will be returning to the Giants. Martindale has been informed he did not get the job in Indianapolis, a source confirmed. Daboll now has to wait. Now, this is interesting if you think about it. Daboll has to wait out the Cardinals head coach search because as of Mike Kafka, the Giants' first-year offensive coordinator, is a finalist. However, all right, let's think about this. The Cardinals could have already hired Kafka if he was the man. I mean, if he walked in, kicked the door down, and blew him away and all this and everything, they're like, you're a guy, all right? So they haven't done that, all right? If he was their top choice, leading to speculation that the Cardinals want to wait until after the Super Bowl to include more candidates, right? I mean, why, Eric, the enemy, why would you not want to talk to that guy. I mean, he's only been leading the Chiefs offense for I don't know how many years now. I mean, why wouldn't you want to talk to somebody from the Eagles, right? Eagles offensive coordinator Shane Steichen could be a target, and the Eagles defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon is also highly regarded too. So I mean, what Gannon's done, Gannon's had a lot of talent. Gannon's had a lot more talent. Don't get me wrong, than what Wink has, but Gannon's gotten some very impressive results. Now, once again, his defense is stacked. Okay, but let's see. It's a blow to Martindale. Made it no secret he wants to run his own team. Okay. Let's see. This is a boon to the Giants, though. Martindale brought his blitz-happy formula to the Giants that he cultivated with the Ravens and established an aggressive identity for his new team. The Giants did not rank high in any major defensive category. Okay. 25th in yards allowed, 14th in pass defense, 27th in the run. Yeah, we know but you got to realize, there's not a lot of talent there. Okay. So for the Giants to win 9 games, 10 including the playoffs, they gave up a lot of yard points and all that in a couple of games. But what he did with the talent that he had was really remarkable. Okay. And they were 18th in points allowed with 21.8 points per game. Right. But Martindale's unit did keep the Giants competitive in most games, despite enduring injury issues on the back end issues at inside linebacker. Well, you can say issues. I mean, or the lack of an inside linebacker. Martindale was extremely popular with his players, going out of his way to accentuate strengths and rarely going public with deficiencies. Oh yeah, he's without question. Without question, he's a player's coach. So you got to give him a lot of credit for that. But so the nice thing is, all right, is that the he'll be back, okay, and the Giants they can keep building upon what they have now. The nice thing is, he was starting to bring in some of his own guys. Now I don't know if we're going to bring back Jefferson. I'd have a hard time seeing us like some of the guys that were associated with Wink. I'd have a hard time seeing us bringing Jelly Ellis back. But I mean, like Tony Jefferson, So we brought some guys in, right, that incorporated, with his style of defense. Now, we have the guys that he likes to have in there. I said we have to start to maybe re-sign some of the free agents. If not, we need to replace them. But we can hopefully maybe keep building upon it. All right. But we need to get like an inside linebacker, whether it's in the draft. I mean, I guess you don't have to this year, but you just got to remember you're probably going to be horrible against the run once again. But I mean, if you can add like another little piece to the puzzle, like maybe somebody else in the secondary, maybe I don't know if they're going to be able to get the second cornerback position settled. We also got to remember too, there's Adoree Jackson's last year coming up with the Giants, so they can always try to extend him, right? He's still young, he's not over the hill or not like that. So, but I mean, I said if they can add like an inside linebacker, that you need a little depth on the defensive line. Okay, that would wind up being huge. So, but hopefully we can build upon what we did last year. So that's fantastic, right? So that's bad for Wink, but it's good for the Giants and the fans, right? So at least we know we have Wink for one more year. And I don't know. I mean, I'd be just shocked, rather shocked. It's almost kind of like like a Joe Judge kind of thing. I don't know if Judge ever, honestly, if he interviewed for any other jobs before the Giants. I mean, just to go out and have your initial, I mean, with Kafka, it's his first year being offensive coordinator, and all of a sudden, your offensive coordinator he was a quarterback coach and an offensive coordinator for 1 year, and now boom, now he's going to be running a whole team. I mean, I don't know. That just seems a bit quick for me. It seems like he'll be back. I mean, I I can't guarantee that, but just seems the way it is. I mean, there's so many other guys out there that have good credentials, that have more experience, more, than Kafka would. I would just, it just seems really, I mean, unless somehow he really blew them away in an interview, I mean, I'd have a hard time seeing them trying to hire Kafka to be a head coach, at least for this year anyway, right? I mean, it doesn't certainly mean without question down the road he won't be. I mean, if he's getting an interview after 1 year being offensive coordinator, there's a good chance he's going to get plenty more interviews before he does become a head coach. So, but first thing first, at least we know we got Wink coming back to us, so that's good. So hopefully we can build upon a little bit of the defense that we had. As I said, it's between the injuries, right, lack of depth, right, lack of talent in a lot of areas, I mean, that's not, we lost Xavier McKinney. How many, our second cornerback, Rodarius Williams, he didn't play a lot, but Aaron Robinson got injured, Azeez Ojulari couldn't stay on the field. Kayvon Thibodeau did miss some time. Leonard Williams spent, I don't know, the last, 6, 7, 8, half the season or whatever with his neck. So, he wasn't playing at full speed all the time. Dexter Lawrence was being overused, overworked too much. I'm sure he was probably wearing down toward the end of the season. We had no middle line. We had middle linebackers, Once again, they did not do a very good job at covering. Just the run defense was just ungodly pathetic in many instances. We were just horrible, so. The Giants got a lot to improve upon, but if we got Wink back once again, right? Obviously, Shane. I ain't telling Shane nothing. I ain't telling nobody nothing. We just said, can we add another piece or two to the puzzle? Can we keep? We got Azeez, we got Kayvon, got Sexy Dexy, right? We got Leonard Williams. Maybe we can extend Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams has said publicly that he wants to be here with the Giants for at least a couple more years because him and Sexy Dexter are like brothers. So he wants to be here. Let's see if we can make it happen. We're going to hopefully, extend Xavier McKinney. Hopefully his hand gets better. Hopefully extend him. Give him a nice little contract. Can we, maybe keep Adoree Jackson? Let's not forget. He missed a bunch of time too when he tried to return the punt. Got injured in the Detroit game. Missed a bunch of time there too. So, a lot of injuries, right? So I said, can we add another piece or two to the puzzle? We're going to get Darian Beavers back because he didn't play at all last year. He got injured in the preseason, right? We're going to DJ Davidson back, right? That'll give us a little more depth, but we need a little more depth on the defensive line. We need an inside linebacker. We can always use somebody in the secondary without question, right? So, can we add another couple pieces to the puzzle on defense and maybe get a little bit better, and then keep proceeding from there, right? Keep the core players you got and just keep adding a little bit to it, right? It doesn't have to be all this year. It's a journey, right? It's not it's not okay. We played one season. Next season we're winning the next 7 Super Bowls. That's probably not going to happen, right? We just keep adding a little bit to it. Add a piece or two this year, right? Add another piece or two the next, right? So, if you figure you got Azeez, you got Kayvon, you got Sexy Dexy, you got Leonard Williams, if we can keep Adoree Jackson, right? You got, you got, just say Xavier McKinney, right? So there's 6 pieces right there, right? If you can get another 5 over the next, say, 2 years or so, right? You need more than that. You need depth at the defensive front, But, can we add another cornerback maybe in the draft or something, maybe this year or next year, right? There's a piece. Can we add an inside linebacker this year? That's another piece, add just a couple more pieces to the puzzle. It's good. The defense could not say be the greatest of all time, but it can be decent. So, especially with Wink is there. I was kind of thinking, a lot of it also was like with Daniel Jones. A lot of people are kind of bummed out. We might pay Daniel Jones and this, that. It's like you one or the other. It's like, no, Daniel Jones, no, he's a bum. Get him out of here. We haven't won a Super Bowl yet with him. He hasn't thrown any more than, 24 touchdown passes in a season. He's a bum. Get him out of here. He stinks, And then there's other people, are all on board with him. Yeah, he's our guy, this, that, and the other thing. Seems like it's like, you're one or the other. There's not a lot of people down the middle. It's like one or the other, right? But, I mean, it's really, really looking, like the Giants going to re-sign him, okay? So if anybody's bummed out about that, it is what it is. But, I mean, kind of like looking, well, if the Giants don't re-sign him, just say it takes two to tangle, right? It would really behoove him, especially because what he had here, right? I mean, he has highest completion percentage of his career here. Most rushing yards. I know what they do. Most rushing touchdowns, fewest interceptions, fewest turnovers. He led the league in interception, the lowest interception rate, right? Which includes all those other phenomenal quarterbacks out there like Jalen Hurts, the greatest quarterback of all time, right? We threw less interception percentage than him. Okay, especially we don't have the offensive line that Jalen Hurts has. We don't have the weapons that Jalen Hurts has, right? So, so it's like if we don't sign him, right, something just falls through and whatever. But I'm saying it would be, because he would be kind of in the same system for 2 years in a row. I mean, let's not forget, right? He was at Duke, then he was with Shermer, then he had 2 years with Jason Garrett. So that was another. Now he has Dable and Kafka. So he's been through like the last 5 years, 4 different coordinators, right? Does he want to go someplace else and basically kind of start all over with another offensive system, with another offensive, basically you'd be taking another step backwards to take a step forward, right? So, I mean, the longer you're in the same system, pretty much, I mean, the plays are pretty much the same. I mean, I'm sure they add plays each week and, and everything, but pretty much it's the same playbook. But I mean, the longer you're in it, the less you got to think. Thinking is horrible. That's not something you want to be doing in a sport, especially quarterbacking, right? You want to react, right? You want to drop back the pass and you just know where each one of the receivers are at, right? I mean, how many times do we look and Daniel Jones drops back the pass? I've seen many people complaining about this, putting videos up and all, getting a big broad view of the field. Daniel Jones drops back the pass. He's looking at the guys under the route across the middle, and maybe the guy cutting out, or maybe the guy in the flat. He's like looking around here. Well, meanwhile, Darius Slayton's running down the field wide open, 30, 40 yards down the field. He doesn't look, right? He's in the same system for a period of time. That's going to be a natural progression, right? You go, this guy here, Darius Slayton. Holy crap, look at Darius, right? So, I mean, and it's going to make it better for him, right? Especially if he signs a shorter contract, right? That way, maybe a 3-year contract, just throwing the numbers out there, right? That way, after that's over with, he can sign another one. He wouldn't be 30 years old yet, and he's going to get himself another nice big contract, right? But if he's staying in the same system, his numbers will get better, right? His numbers will get better. His money's going to get better, right? You look good, you pay. What Deion Sanders say? You look good, you play good, they pay good, or something like that. It's freaking funny stuff. But it's like, you're kind of like looking around. I'm kind of like, okay, all right, who they going to get? I mean, it's like, what they could do, right, would be, if they were thinking about it, all right, is that if they don't wind up with Daniel Jones, okay, signing, all right, they have, let's see here, they got Tyrod Taylor for this year, okay? So if Daniel Jones doesn't come back, we got Tyrod Taylor. We know we got Tyrod Taylor pretty much as the starting quarterback. We got him for 1 year. We can certainly sign Tyrod, I'm sure, for another year or so, right? If need be. Tyrod's a good, solid, very smart, very intelligent, very good with the football kind of quarterback. Of course, he I don't know how many passes he threw this year. I can't remember in that one game he played in. But of course, one of them was an interception. But for the most part, he's very good with the football. Okay. Very intelligent, lots of experience. Yeah. Good, solid backup quarterback. But if we were to draft somebody, okay, now the problem is if we were drafting like this, if this was like last year and we had picks number 5 and pick number 7, and we were a little leery on Daniel Jones, I mean, could we move up? Could we trade picks 5 and 7 to the Bears for the number 1? I think we probably could. We probably could. 5 and 7, that just might do it. We got the number 1 pick in the draft. We could pick Young. Oh, let's see here. Well, where are we at here? All right, we can pick Bryce Young. We can pick Levis, C.J. Stroud. Right? I mean, I don't know if, how crazy you want to go. Yeah, I mean, there's, I don't know if this was last year and they were able to take the number 1, but I mean, they can have their top picks. I mean, last year was not maybe the ideal quarterback class. This year is far superior than it was last year. But I mean, like this year, I don't know, is Richardson, is he going to fall to the Giants at number 25? If Daniel Jones doesn't resign, that's all I'm saying, right? I mean, because Richardson seems, like he has some raw talent there. Like, he needs to be developed. Like he needs to sit and, watch and learn and all that for a year or so and develop his skills and everything. And then possibly he can be a very good quarterback. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm saying, I don't know if Anthony Richardson would wind up reaching the Giants at number 25. But the thing was that if you could let, if Daniel Jones were to go, you have Tyrod Taylor be starting. If Kafka comes back and Dable, right, and and they could work with a quarterback that they could draft. Right now, there's Richardson. There's a guy from, if I find him here, I heard a lot of nice things. Well, some people are kind of high on him. Let's see here. He's a quarterback from Tennessee. Let's see. I got to find him here. Well, there's Tanner McKee, who is from Stanford. He did not have a phenomenal numbers year this year, right? He's still a junior. What do they got here? This is from PFF. McKee is already well equipped to operate an NFL offense given what he was asked to do at Stanford. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the class and pairs ability with lightning quick processing. Wow, says McKee's career time to throw at Stanford is a swift 2.49 seconds. But so Tanner McKee, right? Somebody who might fall to the Giants at number 25 if, once again, Daniel Jones does not sign with the Giants. Now, whether Daniel Jones signs with the Giants or not, the Giants should take a quarterback somewhere in the draft, because like if Davis Webb winds up becoming a coach, and after Tyrod Taylor, maybe after the season's over with, we don't re-sign him, we're going to need somebody as a backup. So it would behoove the Giants to draft a quarterback this year who they think they can work with and build up and become a decent backup quarterback. Okay. So there's quite a few guys, okay, who they could draft in maybe the second or third or fourth round or so, who they can maybe try to mold, as a decent backup quarterback. But here we're going, if they don't sign Daniel Jones, right? I mean, I said Tanner McKee. I said from Stanford. They can possibly grab him. I'm trying to find they're not. I wonder if I passed them. Huh. Maybe I did. Well, let me see. They could draft, either going to, regardless, whether they sign Daniel Jones or not, they definitely need to go and sign a quarterback and, hopefully draft a quarterback. Let's see here. News and analysis. Oh. Nope. Let's try it again. I'm trying to find. I had this thing for PFF. Let's try this again here. Quarterback. No. Draft guide. 20. Nope. Big board. Here we go. All right. So let's see if we can find this here. Quarterbacks. Okay. All right. We got Bryce Young, Will Levis, Richardson, Tanner McKee. Okay. Oh, Hendon Hooker. I heard a lot of nice things about him. Right, he possibly needs to work out some maybe sit down on the bench, and he's not a plug and play starter, but he has possibly some talents there. Right, Hendon Hooker from Tennessee, Aiden O'Connell from Purdue. I've heard some nice things about him as well too. Jack Hayner, okay, from Fresno State, Clayton Tune from Houston. Right, there's Jaron Hall from BYU, but I mean they got guys here. You got Hendon Hooker, Aiden O'Connell, Hayner, and Tune. Okay. Basically between rounds, I don't know what you want to say, 3 to 5. There's like 4 or 5 quarterbacks. So, I mean, the Giants could quite possibly 4th round. I got 2 third-round picks. I don't know if they maybe take a quarterback. Because let's not forget, I mean, if Davis Webb is gone, Tyrod Taylor's going after the season. If we have Daniel Jones, say if Daniel Jones gets hurt, you want to have a good quarterback in there. So they could, with maybe their 3rd-round pick, maybe take a quarterback. But regardless, if we sign Daniel Jones or not, with Giants, I would be very surprised if they didn't take a developmental quarterback in this draft here. Okay, and there are some guys, okay, that I've been hearing. I don't watch like a lot of film and all of this stuff and everything. I'm not going to try to BS you about that. But I've heard some nice things about some of these other. I said Aiden O'Connell and Hendon Hooker. I've heard some nice things about them. Actually, same thing about Richardson. Richardson is a phenomenal athlete. He's got a lot of talent and all, but very raw. Right, so he's going to need to be developed. Right, but he ain't going to wait. He ain't going to be there on the 3rd or 4th round. But I mean, so there's guys the Giants could try to maybe draft, and I don't know if any of them be ready for next year. If Daniel Jones did not resign with the Giants, like this, we drafted somebody who sat behind Tyrod Taylor for a year. Would the quarterback be ready for next year? I don't know. That I don't know. Okay, which then leads you to the free agency. Okay, so. Who's there in free agency? Well, we know, Aaron Rodgers. There's Derek Carr and there's Aaron Rodgers. I think the Raiders are trying to look, for somebody to trade Derek Carr to. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's kind of like a James Bradberry thing. Right? The Raiders are on the phone. Yeah, you want to trade for Derek Carr? No? Okay. You want to trade for the people on the other end of the phone? No. It's like, no, because you're going to release him. And when you release him, we'll sign him. That's why I think they're having a hard time. Same thing with Joe Shane calling people on the phone. Hey, you want to trade for James Bradberry? No. You want to trade for James Bradberry? No. You want to trade for James? No. Well, I mean, nobody wants to trade for James because they're all going to, other guys, people on the other end of the phone are like, no, because you got to release him. We're not trading draft picks, right? When we know you release. As soon as you release them, then we're going to sign, you know what I mean? So it's kind of the same thing with Derek Carr. But they're going to release him. He's got like $40 million, I think, guaranteed money coming to him. So they have, so they're going to cut him. That's what it sounded like. So he's going to be on the open market, okay? But then, of course, there's Aaron Rodgers, right? Everybody keeps talking about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers keeps holding up. I keep seeing Aaron Rodgers holding up these pictures and stuff. He's holding the sign with the Jets. I don't know if it's photoshopped or not. There's another one I'm holding up a picture with the Raiders, or like the Raiders emblem and stuff. So I don't know. But if you were to get Aaron Rodgers, which is a possibility, that's going to cost you some draft capital, right? Now, do the Giants really want it? And it's going to cost you a lot of money. Basically, it's going to cost the Giants almost all the salary cap money, almost all the money that they have to sign this guy. And they're going to have to give up probably multiple draft picks to get him. Is that something the Giants want to do? I can't see it. Okay. They said Derek Carr. It's going to cost you a lot of money to sign Derek Carr. It's going to cost you just as much money to basically sign Derek Carr as it would for Daniel Jones. So, I mean, do you want to replace Daniel Jones with Derek Carr? You know, is there that much of an upgrade? I mean, maybe Derek Carr might be a little better thrower. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of, but it's still going to cost you the same amount of money. It's not like you're going to get Derek Carr and it's only going to cost you, $20 million. No, it's going to cost you about the same amount of money, maybe even more than it would to sign Daniel Jones. So is there an upgrade there? No. Right? Leads you to like the free agency class. All right. So who are the Giants going to sign if they don't sign Daniel Jones? Well, Tom Brady's a free agent, but he retired. Baker Mayfield. You want to bring Baker Mayfield in here? I don't see that happening. It looks like Sam Darnold is a free agent. Jimmy G looks like he's a free agent. He's over 30. He's 31. Looks like he'll be almost 32. I mean, that's obviously not over the hill, but he's in his 30s. Very injury prone. Okay, it's going to cost you a nice amount of money. Teddy Bridgewater, Case Keenum, Mason Rudolph, Jacoby Brissett, Geno Smith. I'd have a hard time. I mean, the year he had, I'd have a hard time seeing the Seahawks letting him go because he had a very, very, obviously very good year. Joe Flacco's out there. He's only 38. Andy Dalton, C.J. Beathard. I mean, Taylor Heineke, Mr. Modelo Especial, Taylor Heineken, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, he wants some money. So if you sign Lamar Jackson, it's going to cost you a lot more than it's going to cost you to sign. If Daniel Jones is going to get like, say, 35 to 37, somewhere around there, I think Lamar wants like 45 to 50. I think Lamar wants like to break the bank. So, it's like, there's nobody out there that they're going to sign, they're going to bring in that's going to be reasonably priced that's going to make that much of a difference over Daniel Jones. I just don't see that happening. I mean, some of them, as I said, are just, I mean, there's a couple of nice guys there, but I don't see them happening. And then, of course, you have, if we can make it through this season, right, with Tyrod Taylor, okay, who's available in 2024? Well, Kirk Cousins. But he's 35 and a half. He'll be 36 and a half. He'll be like 37 by the time that the 2024 season starts. Matty Ice, he's 38, almost 39. So he'll be like almost 40 by the time that season starts. Ryan Tannehill, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Joe Burrow. He's never going to get let out of Cincinnati. They'll franchise tag him until the cows come home. He's not leaving Cincinnati. I can tell you that much. Tua. I get injured all the time, Tagovailoa, but I mean, it's an absolute shame. I wish him nothing, but I hope he comes back. I hope he plays, but that guy gets injured a lot, right? Justin Herbert, Chargers are not letting him leave. Tyrod Taylor will be a free agent. Colt McCoy, Nick Foles, Trevor Siemian. I didn't even know he was still playing. Oh my God. Brian Hoyer, Jalen Hurts. Yeah, the Eagles aren't letting him go. Will Grier, Logan Woodside, Felipe Franks, Anthony Brown, Chase Garbers. I mean, so nobody there. I mean, Kirk Cousins had a very good year this year, but look at the talent he had once again. It's kind of like a little theme there. You got certain quarterbacks have very good years, but look at the talent they had. Jalen Hurts, look at the talent he had, right? When Jalen Hurts didn't have that much talent, how good was he? 2 year, his rookie season, right? Against when they were playing against Washington, right? The last game of the season when they put Peterson put the 37 string quarterback in there, and Peterson wound up getting fired because he's a dipshit. I mean, Jalen Hurts was out there. He didn't look like a world beater to me. The second season, they added DeVonta Smith, right? Okay, they scored. They came into New York or Jersey, and they scored 7 points against the Giants. Didn't look like a world beater to me, Jalen Hurts, right? This year, you give him A.J. Brown, right? Best offensive line of football, right? They're scoring some points. But, I mean, I said, is there anybody out there in 2024 after Tyrod Taylor leaves? Okay, right? If we don't have Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor's gone, you want to sign Kirk Cousins? You better get the guy some talent. You don't get the guy some talent, right? He's not putting the team on his back and getting them down, right? And marching them to a Super Bowl. Better get the guy some talent. I said, Matt Ryan, Tannehill, Winston, Marcus Mariota. I mean, there ain't much out there. There's not much, right? I mean, there really ain't much out there. I said, regardless if the Giants do or do not sign Daniel Jones, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they spent some draft capital this year. I mean, like a pick, getting a quarterback, regardless. If they don't sign Daniel Jones and you got Tyrod, I would certainly look for them to spend an earlier round pick on a developmental quarterback. Get somebody in here that can, coach up. Because they might have to be manning the ship after Tyrod leaves. Or if they do sign Daniel Jones, look for them to get a quarterback, maybe fourth round, even a third round. I mean, that second, third round pick number 101 or 102, whatever it winds up being, or a fourth round pick or something like that. Look for them to grab a quarterback. I would not be surprised, especially if Davis Webb leaves. Don't be surprised if they take a quarterback. I would be either way. I think whether they do sign Daniel Jones or they don't, look for them to grab a quarterback. I mean, if we have one with 11 picks, we can certainly grab a quarterback. No question. But I mean, there's not a lot. I mean, if the Giants did not sign Daniel Jones, and this is the way it was in the past bunch of years, the Giants are picking in the top 10 every year. Giants would have a chance, especially as saying, if this was last year, we had picks 5 and 7, you call the Bears on the phone, hey, Chicago, how you doing? Right? We got picks 5 and picks 7. And if they wanted something else, we'll give you a fourth round pick too, whatever. What's it going to take for us to go up to number 1? Right? That's the beauty of them. That's what the beauty of the Bears are. They can take phone calls from any quarterback needy team to move up to spot 1, and they can take their pick of any one of those top 3 or 4 quarterbacks. So if this was last year and the Giants were looking for a quarterback, Giants would be in the market without question. But for them to go picking number 25, we're not moving into the top 10, right? As I said, could Richardson fall to us at 25? Yeah, possibly, But I mean, the Giants are not in a real good position this year to be picking one of those top quarterbacks, right? If we don't sign Daniel Jones. And there's not a heck of a lot out there in the open market. I said, unless you want to try to trade some draft capital for Aaron Rodgers and dish out a whole bunch of money for him, right? And then it goes all your salary cap money. So, and that's one of the problems is that you sign one of these big time guys, right? It's going to cost you obviously a lot of money, and then as you goes your draft capital, and then you're not going to have, you ain't going to have much money in free agency to re-sign your own players. Maybe sign a star receiver to help the quarterback out, So that's why I really think, without question, that however it is, I mean, even if we want a franchise tag, I think, oh man, what the hell was it? The 21st, I think, if I'm not, I heard. So what is that? About 11 days away. They can start putting the franchise tags on the court on the players. So about 10, 11 days is when they can start putting franchise tags on that's when they can start using them. Okay. So the Giants have a little bit of time, okay, for to work something out before they have to put the franchise tag on them. But the problem is that they put the franchise tag on Daniel Jones, then they can't use it on Saquon Barkley in case those talks go down the dumper, right? But if they get the franchise tag on Daniel Jones, right, it'll give him some time. They can maybe work out a deal. It'll give him a few months. They can write out a deal, right? And I think they have until like July or something like that, where they can get a deal done and rip the franchise tag up, right? So they'll give the Giants, it gives them a couple months, right? But, I mean, as I say, you kind of like to get the deal done now if you can, because then you know how much money you have to spend, and then you know how much what other players you can maybe try to bring back, re-sign, because we got a lot of guys to re-sign if they're going to. And also maybe extend a couple players too. I think this year we can start talking about extending Andrew Thomas, right? So, but I said, but without question, I would certainly look for hell or high water. Daniel Jones is going to wind up being re-signed. But I mean, as you know, I was just trying to go over there. I mean, there's options, but things are not looking really, really, bright. If the Giants need a quarterback, especially a decent quarterback, right? One of Daniel Jones's talent or better, we got Tyrod Taylor as a backup. So this year we can bring Daniel Jones and Tyrod. We're okay there. We still need another quarterback at least to develop, because once Tyrod Taylor's gone, we're going to need something. We're going to need a backup quarterback. And if Davis Webb winds up turning out to be maybe a coach, right, someplace, we're going to need a backup quarterback. But I said, look for the Giants to re-sign Daniel Jones. I'd be shocked if they didn't, one way or the other, because I said there's not a whole heck of a lot of phenomenal options out there for the Giants, just in case Daniel Jones does not get signed. Well, it's been 45 minutes, guys. Anybody spent any time at all watching this? Thank you. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Or if anybody spends any time, once again, watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.